What makes up a water molecule? A water molecule is formed by two hydrogen atoms plus one oxygen atom, which is why it's called H2O. Explain the water cycle and evaporation. The water starts at a body of water or plant. Then the water goes into the atmosphere, when it turns into water vapor. The process of evaporation or through the plants via transpiration. Evaporation is when water turns from a liquid to a gas. During evaporation, the heat created causes energy, and that energy causes the hydrogen bonds of liquid water to move farther away, creating a gas. In the atmosphere, water vapor condenses and forms clouds. After enough water vapor has gathered together in the clouds, it cools off and falls back to the ground through precipitation. How can water move from the ocean and end up in rivers? Because of gravity, water is attracted to the center of the earth. After water from the oceans evaporates, then condenses into the clouds and fall into the ground by precipitation, they flow downhill, either creating rivers or joining one, and so they follow the river until they get to the ocean again. What is El Nino and how was it different this year? The phenomenon called El Nino is the abnormal warming of the ocean surface water, creating unusual amounts of precipitation, and it is a common phenomenon of the Peruvian coast. This year, El Nino was different when it affected the coast of Peru. It hasn't exceeded previous amounts of precipitation, but more rain has started falling in shorter periods of time, causing lots of destruction and flooding. How are poor people more affected because of lack of water and floods? Most poor people don't have direct access to a water source, so they rely on the water tanks that come to their area to sell them dirty, overpriced water. Because of floods, most people living in these areas weren't able to get this service and were shut off of water supplies. Also, because most of these people lived on dry floodplains, when the started, their houses got destroyed. How are humans affecting climate change and causing El Nino? Humans affect the climate via pollution, especially smoke from factories. This smoke damages our ozone layer, which is a layer that protects the Earth from receiving the full on strength of the sun rays. With a damaged ozone layer, more sun rays enter Earth and heat up the oceans more, which ends up creating stronger and more frequent El Niños, which in turn creates more flooding and destruction. Why was water shut off in Lima, and why was water sometimes not available? Water was shut off Lima after the mudslide and floods clogged and contaminated the water treatment plants. Also, water ran off of Lima because of the crisis where people rushed in to buy bottled water, making many supermarkets unable to keep up with the demand of water. In turn, getting rid of bottled water for many people. What can the government do about it? What the government can do is better the city's infrastructure, so bridges and houses are able to withstand the forces of the river. They can also try to relocate people living near rivers to safer areas. Finally, they can start creating new programs to preserve the environment to lower the impact of global warming on our cities and El Nino.